So first things first, you make a directory inside your projects folder if you have one. Then give a name to your project. In this case, we call it test Django. Then you're going to install virtual environment. The virtual environment is installed using pip. So it is pip install virtual env. And then you start the environment. Mine I'm calling venv, venv. So it's virtual env, venv, to just create the virtual environment. So it's actually been created. Now you need to activate the virtual environment. Space, then the name, then activate. Then you need to start it. So you can confirm that it is been created, the folder is there. So to create it, you do dot space when / bin activate. So you see after the bracket shows you that we're inside now the virtual environment. So we're going to install Django. So again, you're going to use pip install. The version I'm going to use right now is Django 3.2, but you can check the latest version depending on what you want. So pip install Django, then you specify the version 3.2. And Django takes a while to install, so after that is installing, takes like 2 seconds depending on the speed of your machine. So after that, now you transfer to your editor. In this case, I'm going to use Visual Studio. So in Visual Studio, you'll see that inside the project that we created in the beginning, you'll see 2 folders. The first folder, sorry, you'll see 1 folder, which inside it there is a virtual environment labeled venv. So inside this folder, not inside the virtual environment, the venv folder, we're going to create the project. And the creating a project starts with a function called startproject. So we do django-admin start project. In this case, we're going to call our project test project. Tab test project. And you give it time for it to be created. So we'll see a folder named test project has been created. So this is the main Django folder, which has all the settings and the manage.py. We'll talk about manage.py file later. So another thing we need to do is to, in this juncture, we want to, let me see, we want to see whether we can check inside and see the file called manage.py. So manage.py carries all the functionalities. Try and run that. So Python manage.py create, I want to start up, in this case start up home desktop. Okay, that won't work because we are not in the virtual environment. So let's do something we call the requirement.txt. So the requirement.txt is a file that shows you all the requirement that the file requires. Again, we do pip freeze. So in this case, we do pip freeze the requirement.txt. So this is a file that contains all the requirements of your Django project or any add-ons that you've added or plugins. So to see that within the terminal, you can also do pip freeze to see all the contents within that file. But first, you have to create the pip freeze. The requirement.txt, sorry about that. So after that, now we can try and now run manage.py, run the server. This is a command that is, but remember the server can't run. Remember one thing, we have to activate, we had activated that in our terminal, we have to activate the virtual environment. So again, remember virtual environment is dot space venv / bin activate. So after that, you see it's activated, Python manage.py, then you can run that, Runserver. So that should, oh sorry, we are not inside the project folder, so let's do see, first we go into the project, which is test project. Now we're inside, so now we can run the server, because that is what contains the manage.py file. Run server. Then you can see the red error shows you that you have unapplied migrations. We'll talk about that. So migrations are just all the changes that you've done to be saved into your DB SQLite. You can see there's a database that has been created below there, the test project. So you run python.manage.py. So in this you'll see so many functional, but in this case we want make migrations and migrate. So the first step is to make migrations. Then after that you can migrate all those changes that you've done into the database. So in this case you do python manage.py make migrations. So in this case we have not done any changes yet. So and then you do python manage.py migrate. So a bunch of changes will have been done. So after that, now you can successfully run python manage.py run server. But remember, in this case we are not running Python 3 because we're inside the virtual environment. Very key. So and voila, there is your project. Copy the link and paste it in your browser. Thank you.